We got a Russell Westbrook conundrum on our hands. We got a conundrum. He is so freaking good sometimes. He's really freaking bad sometimes. And lately it's been a little bit more of the bad. So what are we going to get, man? The playoffs are a week away. The momentum seems to be swinging the other direction. Where are you at right now with Russ?
Where I've always been, which is that you don't get to choose. You're going to get a bit of both. You're going to get a bit of both. And part of this is the Nuggets need that in its totality, right? We've talked about how many guys do the Nuggets have. You take Westbrook out of the equation, not enough. So he's in there, right? They need him for the things that he does do well. Still rim pressure, right? Occasionally rebounding. Maybe defense has fallen off a bit since the start of the season, but he's competitive on that end. So there are things that he helps a lot for this team. But we know the turnovers, the it's my turn kind of offense stuff, it's not their best path to success when their best players are available. So will balance be restored, D-line, as everyone's healthy and they trim it down to a playoff rotation?
See, here's my thing. You guys want to know my thing? Here it is.
I want to hear your thing.
I don't trust him. I just straight up don't trust him anymore. I got to the point where I was feeling like, man, this is great. This is a better Bruce Brown. I think I used those words, better Bruce Brown. And the last couple games, like what he has done in the end of the games, and granted, like this comes in a place where, it could be argued that he was playing too much and that he was, they're relying on him more than they should. But like the decision making down the stretch in these last couple games, not nearly as important, obviously, as the playoffs, but it's like, bro, I don't know what's happening anymore. Like I'm terrified. Yeah. Terrified.
Like Bruce Brown, though, when Bruce Brown was here in the championship year, he was not that great. Nobody remembers this. He was not that great in the regular season. Then he plays just with Jokic. Things are more focused, and he was better. And it wasn't just that part of it. I think there is this is where the last week is concerning, because I do think as the year goes on and you get closer to the playoffs, you lock in a little bit more of like, okay, the details matter, everybody pulling in the same direction, and it just doesn't feel that way at the moment. No. And I got to be honest, man, we're going into a week where 2 missed wide open layups kind of determined 2 games in a lot of ways. So there's reason to be really down on it. I think I lean a little bit more with you where it's the trust. Do I trust him? I think he's good enough to make an incredible impact on this Nuggets playoff run and maybe be the difference in how far they go. But my trust is just so broken right now. It's such a conundrum.
Well, part of what makes it a conundrum is Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook. We have not seen a guy with so much gravitas, honestly, in Denver. Obviously, we're watching Jokic in his prime.
Forget the gravity. It's the gravitas.
We're watching Jokic in his prime, of course, but I think you guys would agree that just in sort of typical stardom and just how guys move and the weight of them in the room, like Westbrook is kind of on another level, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so it makes it harder for what kind of seems obvious, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is coaching, right? Like the rotation, you're not going to get guaranteed minutes and guaranteed spots. I'm saying, whereas you'd like to say as a coach, what would make it most simple is in this series in Minnesota, we need your ball handling. Maybe you're out there closing, right? But in this series, in the last 5 minutes, and in this way, it's reverse Bruce Brown. Thanks for the great 3 quarters, but these 5 guys got it to close the game. So I think it's going to ask a lot of Malone, and I don't think it's the same to ask Russell Westbrook, this of Russell Westbrook as it is Jalen Pickett.
I think it's meaningful that Michael Malone has not started him in the last handful of games when somebody's been out. I think that was Michael Malone establishing in a lot of ways, hey, I got to go with the combination that works. I think for most of the year, it was almost tenure, seniority, respect, this, that. And I think Michael Malone, even, in some cases going really far afield, Peyton Watson starting at guard where he doesn't typically play. It's almost a message being sent, but the big one is it's so hard for me to envision a scenario where he's not in the rotation. And it's even, to be honest with you, like just in a game, you get to game 6, do or die, rotation gets, 6 guys, maybe 7. It's just hard for me to envision him being out, and it's even hard for me to envision him being reduced. Could you even see a game where he played, let's say, 11 minutes in a playoff game?
I don't know. It's such a conundrum.
That would be, I think, the answer, right? Like in some games, some series, it's 11 minutes tonight. And also, flip side, by the way, the Wolves, who else can dribble the ball? It's 30 minutes.
It might be 35 minutes.
Right. So it's not, but I do think traditionally with Westbrook, it's sort of been, with guys of that nature, it's here's your role. You know it, and you get to sort of ball within that. And it might be a little bit different this time around.
You know what I think like that really at the heart of it is that it's impossible to know when he's tired.
Yeah, it's true.
He doesn't look tired ever.
He's
and it's only when just absolutely everything falls apart. You're like, oh, we played him too long.
Well, he played so much in that back-to-back. And by the way, I will say, without trying to sugarcoat the endings, it's awesome that he played in that game. I really think so.
I agree.
There were a lot of people, Nuggets fans, who went to that game, didn't get to see the fellas, right? And Westbrook was there, and Westbrook was great for 3.5 quarters. But, this is the tough conversation that matters in the playoffs. As Eric said, do you trust him in every moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, too, because it's given rise to an even more unthinkable debate that's risen up. Should Jalen Pickett get his minutes?
Come on, man.
Dude, I don't know what's happening.
It's too late. I just can't see that happening as good as he's playing. But here's the flip side of it that we need to now pull on, because we started negative Nancy. Sometimes we go fire, sometimes we're ice. Here's the thing. There is the upside play here, man. And we just gave Bruce Brown in the playoffs. You're playing more with Jokic. Things are a little more focused. Russ is still one of the most athletic guys in the NBA.
Famous
he still is
riser.
probably the second best passer on the team, which is not, Jokic number 1 all time. Him right up there. And so I look at it and I go, there's still an upside play where you go out there and you get the best version of him. I just feel like we need to see it over these last 4 games. I don't know if we need to, but I want to.
That would be nice.
It's like it's possible. He's terrible. And then all of a sudden playoffs roll around. He's great, but I would love to just see it a little bit.
Yeah,
the old way. They're old Russ. 7 assists to Jokic in 1 game, Russ.
And the other thing that I'll say is that it's been difficult because guys haven't been playing. And you don't know what the combinations are. And you don't know exactly who you're going to be sharing the court with at any given time. And, Russell Westbrook, to his credit, is a guy that will just he'll find a leadership vacuum and will fill that. Like, if it needs to happen, he will take it. But he'll also, if that's not required, he will still assert himself at times, depending upon how he's feeling for the night. So, for me, I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable to be nervous about, by the way, the Denver Nuggets in their entirety and not
totality.
just Russell Westbrook.
You know what? But at the same time, sometimes we get hung up in the nerves, this or that. It is an interesting storyline. We're all like championship or bust, which is the number 1. But you know what? Buckle up.
Buckle up. That's what I've said all year, man. Keep your arms and your feet inside the ride until it's over. Stay buckled.
A Russ triple-double or double triple-doubles in the playoffs would be pretty fun.
Remember
those days? It was like 2 months ago.
Unless they lost the game because he blew it, whatever. It's a conundrum.
That's like I have the good angel on my shoulder, the bad one, and I'm sitting here and I don't know what to do. The conundrum is too strong. Let us know in the comments. I know the Rush fans are going to hate this one. You can yell at that guy. He was the most negative one. Yell at him.
Just spell the name right.
Idea.
Just D-line.
Hit that like button. We'll see you guys next time.